Right here, right now, this is the moment that can change everything. Not tomorrow, not next week, not some distant point in the future when things magically fall into place. It's this moment. You see, people often think transformation is this slow, drawn-out process, something that takes years of grinding, waiting, and hoping. But that's a lie. Real change doesn't happen over time, it happens in an instant. The moment you decide to change. Think about it, every breakthrough, every story of triumph starts with one powerful decision. The decision to step up, to rise above, to no longer settle for the way things are. It's not about the resources you have or the circumstances you're in. It's about the mindset you bring to this very moment. When you make a decision with absolute certainty, your life shifts immediately. And I know making that decision can feel overwhelming. Your mind might flood with doubts, fears, and questions. What if I fail? What if I'm not ready? What if it's too late? But let me tell you something, indecision is the thief of dreams. While you're stuck in hesitation, your dreams are slipping away. You have to claim them now. There's a power inside you waiting to be unleashed, and it's ignited by one thing, decision. The moment you commit, really commit, something incredible happens. Your focus sharpens. Your energy shifts. Suddenly, you're not just thinking about change, you're living it. Think of all the moments in your life when you hesitated, when you let the opportunity pass because you weren't ready. What would have been different if you had just decided to go all in? You can't afford to keep waiting for the perfect moment because the truth is, this is the moment. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the choice to act. It doesn't matter how many times you've tried and fallen short. It doesn't matter how big the mountain in front of you seems. What matters is that you decide right now that you're done holding back. That this is the turning point. That this is the moment you draw the line in the sand and say no more. This isn't about hoping or wishing or dreaming. It's about making a decision so strong, so clear that it pulls you forward. That decision is the spark that lights the fire. It's the push that turns possibility into reality. And once you've made it, nothing can stop you. So what will it be? Will this be the moment you look back on as the day everything changed? Or will it pass you by like so many others? The choice is yours. One decision, one moment. That's all it takes to start a new chapter in your life. But you've got to make it now. The power is already in you. You just have to unleash it. Your life right now is a direct reflection of the decisions you've made up to this point. Think about that for a moment. Every choice, big or small, has led you here. The career you're in, the relationships you have, the state of your health, your finances, your happiness, it's all the result of your decisions. And here's the good news: if your decisions created this reality, new decisions can create a new one. That's the power of choice. It's the ultimate force in life. It's not your background, your education, or the things you think are holding you back. It's not your family, your circumstances, or even your failures. It's the decisions you've made, and more importantly, the decisions you're about to make. Now, some people hear this and think, but I've made so many mistakes. Let me tell you something, mistakes don't define you. They don't control your future unless you let them. What defines you is what you decide to do next. Every day, every moment, you have the opportunity to choose differently, to choose growth over fear, to choose action over excuses, to choose to rise above the story you've been telling yourself about why you can't. What if you decided right now to stop focusing on what you can't control and start owning what you can? Because the truth is, you can't go back and rewrite the past, but you can take the pen and write the next chapter. You can decide that the person you've been is not the person you're going to be. People underestimate the power of a decision. They think change takes years, but the moment you decide with absolute clarity that your life will not stay the same, everything shifts. That's when you stop making excuses and start finding solutions. That's when you stop waiting for the right conditions and start creating them. The difference between people who succeed and those who don't isn't luck or talent, it's the decisions they make. Successful people decide to take action when others hesitate. They decide to keep going when others give up. They decide that no matter what, they're not going to let fear or failure stop them. And guess what? You have that same power. Right now, you're standing at a crossroads. You can keep walking the path you've been on, getting the same results, feeling the same frustrations, or you can make a different decision. One decision to change your perspective. One decision to change your habits. One decision to demand more from yourself in your life. The future is not something you wait for, it's something you create. And it's created by the decisions you make today, not tomorrow. So decide. Decide to stop letting your past control you. Decide to take responsibility for your life. Decide to step into the person you know you're meant to be. Because in the end, it's your decisions, not your circumstances, that define your destiny. And the moment you take ownership of that, you'll realize just how powerful you truly are. Let's talk about one of the biggest lies people tell themselves: I'll do it when the time is right. Let me ask you something: when exactly is the right time? Is it when all the stars align? When everything in your life is perfectly balanced? When every obstacle magically disappears? Let me tell you the truth: that moment doesn't exist. The right time is a fantasy we use to delay action, to stay in our comfort zones, and to avoid the discomfort of change. The only time you have is now. This moment right here is the only moment you're guaranteed. Tomorrow is not promised and yesterday is gone. So why do we spend so much time waiting for the perfect circumstances? Waiting to feel ready, waiting for permission. But let me tell you something: success doesn't wait. Opportunity doesn't wait. Your dreams don't wait. And if you're not willing to act now, you risk losing them forever. Think about it. How many times in your life have you told yourself, I'll start next week, I'll make that call tomorrow, I'll take the leap when things settle down? And how many times did next week turn into next month, and next month into next year? The truth is, there's always going to be an excuse. There will always be a reason to postpone. But every time you wait, you lose time. And time is the one thing you can never get back. Here's what you need to understand: action doesn't come after confidence, it comes before it. Waiting until you feel ready is like waiting to be fearless before trying something new. It doesn't work that way. You have to act in spite of fear, in spite of uncertainty, in spite of not knowing the outcome. The moment you take that first step, the momentum begins. And with that momentum comes the clarity and strength you've been waiting for. Some of the most successful people in the world didn't start because they had it all figured out. They started because they refused to wait. They knew that imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. They decided that even if they didn't have all the answers, they were going to move forward anyway, because movement creates opportunity. So let me ask you, what are you waiting for? What's holding you back from making the decision that could change your life? Is it fear, doubt, uncertainty? Let me tell you something: those feelings are normal. They're part of the process, but you can't let them paralyze you. The only way to overcome them is to act. Stop waiting for the perfect time, because the perfect time is an illusion. This moment is the only one that matters. Decide right now to stop delaying your dreams. Decide to stop putting off your potential. Decide to start where you are with what you have, and let the momentum carry you forward. Because when you look back on your life, you won't regret the times you tried and failed. You'll regret the times you waited and missed your chance. The time to act is now. Make the decision, take the leap, and trust that you'll figure it out along the way. You don't need to have all the answers to take the first step. Let that sink in. So many people hold themselves back, trapped by the belief that they need to know everything before they can act. They think they need a flawless plan, the perfect conditions, or absolute certainty before they move forward. But here's the truth: you don't need certainty. You need courage. Courage isn't about waiting for fear to disappear. It's about moving forward despite it. It's about deciding that your desire to grow, to achieve, to live a life that excites you is bigger than the fear holding you back. Courage isn't something you're born with. It's something you build through action. And the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Think about this: every person you admire, every story of triumph you've ever heard has one thing in common: someone had the courage to act. They didn't have a crystal ball. They didn't know if they would succeed or fail. What they knew was that staying where they were wasn't an option. They knew that their fear of regret was greater than their fear of failure. Let me ask you something: are you waiting for fear to disappear before you move? Are you hoping for a moment when you feel completely ready? Because let me save you some time: that moment isn't coming. You'll never feel 100% ready. And that's okay, because readiness isn't the prerequisite for success. Courage is. Courage is what gets you out of bed when doubt tries to pin you down. Courage is what makes you pick up the phone, step on that stage, or take that leap, even when your heart is racing and your hands are shaking. Courage is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And here's the best part, courage is a decision. It's not something you wait for, it's something you choose. Right now in this moment, you can decide to be courageous. To act even if you're scared. To move forward even if you're unsure. Because the act of deciding changes everything. When you step into courage, you tap into a power greater than fear. You stop seeing obstacles as stop signs and start seeing them as opportunities to grow stronger. You stop asking, what if it doesn't work? And start asking, what if it does? You don't need all the answers to create a breakthrough. You don't need a perfect plan to start the journey. All you need is the willingness to act, the courage to take the first step, and the faith to figure it out as you go. Because the truth is, you're stronger than your fears, and you're more capable than you give yourself credit for. So, what will it be? Will you let fear dictate your choices, or will you summon the courage to take control? The decision is yours. Courage isn't about eliminating fear, it's about choosing to move forward in spite of it. And that decision, my friend, is the one that can change your life. Let me tell you something that will set you free. Your life is your responsibility. Not your parents, not your bosses, not the government's, not anyone else's. It's yours. And until you take ownership of that fact, you'll always feel stuck, blaming your circumstances, your past, or the people around you for where you are. But here's the truth, you are the author of your story. If you don't like the chapter you're in, it's up to you to write a new one. Stop waiting for someone to save you. Stop waiting for the world to change before you take action. Because guess what? No one is coming to rescue you. This is your life, and if you want things to be different, you have to step up and take control. That means no more blaming the economy, no more blaming your upbringing, no more blaming that person who hurt you years ago. It's time to own your decisions, own your actions, and own your outcomes. Now, I get it. Taking responsibility isn't easy. It's much easier to point fingers, to say, it's not my fault, but let me ask you this, does blaming others make your life any better? Does it bring you closer to your goals? Or does it keep you stuck, spinning your wheels, waiting for someone else to fix things? Here's what you need to understand. When you blame your circumstances, you give away your power. When you blame your past, you chain yourself to it. But when you take responsibility, when you say, this is my life, and I'm in charge, you take back control. You reclaim your power. Because the moment you stop blaming, you start creating. Think about it, the people who achieve extraordinary things in life aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who face challenges head on and refuse to be victims of their circumstances. They made a decision to rise above, to take what they had and turn it into something extraordinary. And you have that same power. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you have to do it all alone. It doesn't mean you won't need help or guidance along the way. But it does mean acknowledging that the direction of your life is up to you. It means recognizing that your choices, not your excuses, determine your future. So what are you going to do? Are you going to keep blaming the past, or are you going to take responsibility for your future? Are you going to let life happen to you, or are you going to take charge and make it happen? The choice is yours. And let me tell you something incredible. The moment you decide to take responsibility, everything changes. Suddenly you're not waiting anymore, you're acting. You're not hoping anymore, you're creating. You're not stuck anymore, you're moving forward. This is your life. No one else is going to live it for you. No one else can decide what you're capable of. That's your job. So take responsibility, take control, and decide right now that you're done blaming and ready to start building. Because once you do, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Let's face it, life isn't easy. You face challenges, setbacks, and moments when you felt like giving up. But here's the truth, you need to hear those struggles weren't meant to break you, they were meant to shape you. Every pain, every failure, every disappointment has been a part of your preparation for this moment. You've been through too much to stop now. The thing about pain is this, it doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to teach you, to strengthen you, to prepare you for the future you're meant to build. Think about a time in your life when you thought you wouldn't make it through, but you did. Think about the lessons you learned, the resilience you gained, the strength you didn't even know you had. That wasn't a coincidence. That was life training you for something bigger. Here's what separates people who thrive from those who merely survive. They don't let their struggles define them, they let them refine them. They don't see pain as punishment, they see it as growth. They look at every obstacle and say, this isn't happening to me, it's happening for me. The truth is, you don't grow in comfort. You grow in the hard times. You grow when you're tested, when you're stretched, when you're forced to dig deep and find strength you didn't know you had. It's in the struggle that you discover what you're truly capable of. It's in the pain that you become unstoppable. You may not control what happens to you, but you always control how you respond. And your response to struggle determines whether it's the thing that breaks you or the thing that builds you. You can let it hold you back, or you can let it propel you forward. You can let it become your excuse, or you can let it become your reason. Here's what you need to understand. The challenges you faced were not random. They were part of a greater plan to prepare you for what's ahead. The pain you've endured was a test of your strength, your resilience, your will to keep going. And the fact that you're still here, still fighting, proves that you've got what it takes to overcome whatever comes next. So what will you do with your pain? Will you let it define you, or will you use it to drive you? Will you let it become the reason you stay stuck, or will you let it fuel your transformation? The choice is yours. You've already survived your hardest days. You've already endured more than most people know. And you're still standing. That's not a coincidence. That's proof of your power. Don't waste it. Don't let the struggles you face go in vain. Decide right now that you're going to use every ounce of pain, every lesson, every setback as fuel for your future. This is your moment. The struggle wasn't meant to stop you. It was meant to prepare you. And now you're ready. Ready to rise, ready to grow, ready to become the person you were always meant to be. Use your pain as your power and watch how unstoppable you become. If you don't know exactly what you want in life, how will you ever get it? Most people drift through their days, reacting to whatever comes their way, chasing vague ideas of success, or worse, settling for less than they deserve. But let me tell you something, clarity is power. When you decide what you truly want, when you get crystal clear about your vision, your goals, and your purpose, everything changes. Your brain is a powerful tool, but it's like a heat-seeking missile. It needs a target. Without a target, it wanders aimlessly, chasing distractions, stuck in indecision. But when you lock in on a specific goal, your mind starts working for you, helping you find solutions, opportunities, and resources you didn't even know existed. It's not magic, it's focus. So what do you want? Not what your parents want for you. Not what society says you should want. Not what's realistic or safe. What do you want? What sets your soul on fire? What gets you out of bed in the morning, excited to take on the day? If you can't answer that right now, it's time to stop everything and figure it out. Because until you know what you're aiming for, you'll keep settling for whatever life throws your way. And let me be clear, deciding what you want doesn't mean thinking small. It doesn't mean limiting yourself to what feels comfortable. Too many people shrink their dreams to fit their current reality. They say, I can't aim for that. It's too big, too hard, too far away. But here's the truth. Your reality doesn't change by thinking small. It changes when you dare to dream bigger than you ever thought possible. Don't worry about the how right now. The how will reveal itself once you've decided on what your job isn't to figure out every step of the journey. It's to set the destination. And when you do that, when you commit fully to what you want, you'll find that the right opportunities, people, and ideas start showing up in your life. That's not luck, that's the power of a clear decision. But clarity alone isn't enough. Once you decide what you want, you've got to own it. You've got to commit to it like your life depends on it. Because the truth is, it does. This isn't about wishing or hoping, it's about deciding with unshakable certainty that you're going to make it happen no matter what. So let me ask you again, what do you want? Not what you think you can have. Not what feels easy or convenient. What do you really want? The life you want is out there waiting for you to claim it. But first, you've got to get clear. Once you know what you want, everything becomes simpler. Decisions that used to confuse you become obvious. Distractions that used to pull you off course lose their power. Because when you're clear on what you want, you start living with purpose. You start moving with intention. And that's when the magic happens. So take a moment right now to decide, get specific, get bold, dream big. This is your life, and you only get one shot. Don't waste it chasing someone else's idea of success. Decide what you want, and then go after it with everything you've got. Because when you're clear on your vision, there's nothing you can't achieve. Let's talk about the power of taking action. Because deciding what you want is only half the battle. The real transformation begins when you back that decision with action. Not someday, not when it's convenient, not when you feel ready right now. Action is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. You can have the clearest vision, the most detailed plan, the strongest desire, but without action, it all means nothing. The world is full of people with great ideas who never did anything about them. Don't be one of them. Be the one who moves, the one who executes, the one who turns intentions into results. Here's the truth: the longer you wait to take action, the harder it becomes. Procrastination is a dream killer. It builds walls between you and the life you want to create. Every day you put off what you know you need to do, you strengthen the habit of inaction. But here's the good news: you can break that habit today. You can decide right now that you're going to stop waiting and start doing. And let me be clear, action doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be something. Because when you take that first step, no matter how small, you create momentum. And momentum is everything. Once you're moving, it's easier to keep going. One small action leads to another, and before you know it, you're making progress, building confidence, and seeing results. But here's what holds most people back: fear. Fear of failure. Fear of looking foolish. Fear of making the wrong choice. Let me tell you something: inaction is the only real failure. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to stumble. That's part of the process. But every mistake is a lesson. Every stumble is a step forward. The only way to fail is to not try at all. Think about the people you admire most: the leaders, the innovators, the visionaries. They didn't get to where they are by sitting on the sidelines, waiting for the perfect moment. They took action. They stepped into the arena, even when they weren't ready, even when they were scared. And because of that, they changed their lives, and in many cases, the world. You have that same power, but it's up to you to use it. No one is going to push you. No one is going to hand you your dreams. You've got to take responsibility for your life and start moving toward what you want. And here's the secret: action creates clarity. You don't have to see the whole path to take the first step. As you move, the next step will reveal itself. You'll learn, you'll adapt, you'll grow. But none of that happens if you stay stuck in analysis, overthinking every possibility. Stop waiting for perfect and start embracing progress. So what's the one thing you can do today to move closer to your goal? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Maybe it's making a call, signing up for a course, hitting the gym, or taking a risk you've been avoiding. Whatever it is, do it now. Because every moment you delay, you're giving your dreams away. The power of action is real. It's what transforms ideas into reality. It's what separates those who talk from those who achieve. And the beautiful thing is, it's entirely within your control. Decide, act, and let momentum carry you forward. Because the life you want isn't going to wait for you, it's waiting for you to take it. Let me tell you something that could change everything for you. The people you surround yourself with are everything. You see, success is never achieved alone. The energy, the mindset, the beliefs of the people in your circle will have an incredible influence on your journey. If you're surrounded by negativity, by people who doubt you, by people who are content to stay stuck, then you're going to have a much harder time reaching your full potential. You can't be the only one in your life who believes in your dreams. You can't carry the weight of your ambitions alone, especially when everyone around you is telling you why it won't work. Your environment is a reflection of who you are, and if you want your life to change, you have to be willing to change your environment, starting with the people in it. Think about the people you spend the most time with. Are they lifting you up or dragging you down? Are they encouraging you to be your best, or are they feeding your doubts, reinforcing your fears, and keeping you comfortable in mediocrity? If you want extraordinary results, you have to surround yourself with extraordinary people. This doesn't mean you have to cut people out of your life, but it does mean you have to raise your standards. You need to make a decision to be around people who inspire you, challenge you, and hold you to a higher standard. People who see your potential even when you can't see it yourself. People who will call you out when you're playing small, who will remind you of who you're capable of becoming when you forget. Because here's the thing: the people you spend the most time with have the ability to shape your beliefs about yourself. They can either help you rise to greatness, or they can pull you back into the past. Think about how your life would change if you were surrounded by people who are constantly pushing for growth, constantly striving for excellence. What if you were in a community of people who weren't just talking about their dreams, but actively pursuing them? Imagine the energy, the excitement, the momentum you'd feel every single day. But this doesn't happen by accident. You have to be intentional about it. You have to seek out the people who align with the future you want to create. If you want to be a millionaire, find people who are already millionaires and learn from them. If you want to be healthier, hang out with people who prioritize their health. If you want to be successful in business, surround yourself with successful entrepreneurs. You need to create an environment that fuels your ambition, not one that holds it back. Your circle of influence should be a support system, not a crutch. It should be a place where you're constantly challenged to grow, to be better, to push past your limits. And let me tell you, the best part is when you elevate your circle, you elevate your life. You will start to think bigger, act bolder, and achieve more than you ever thought possible. Because the people around you will help you see the world through a new lens, and that new perspective will lead you to new opportunities, new connections, and new levels of success. You have the power to choose who you spend your time with. So make that choice wisely. Choose people who make you feel like you're capable of greatness. Choose people who challenge you to dream bigger. Choose people who encourage you to take risks and believe in yourself. Because here's the truth, the quality of your life will never exceed the quality of your relationships. You want to change your life? Change the people you spend the most time with. Let them push you. Let them inspire you. Let them inspire you. Let them help you become the best version of yourself. And in return, you'll do the same for them. Together, you'll rise higher than you ever could alone. It's time to surround yourself with greatness. Your dreams are too important, your time too precious to settle for anything less. Choose your circle and choose it wisely. Your future depends on it. As I stand here today, I want to leave you with one powerful truth your life can change in an instant. The moment you make the decision to take control, to take ownership, to believe that the power to transform your life is within you, that is the moment everything starts to shift. It's not the circumstances that define you. It's not the past, the setbacks, or the obstacles. It's the decision you make right now, the decision to say, I am done waiting. I am done holding myself back. I am going to make today the beginning of the rest of my life. Right now, you have a choice. You can keep going down the same path you've been on, stuck in the same patterns, the same mindset, the same limiting beliefs, or you can decide to do something different. You can choose to make this moment the turning point. You can choose to say, this is my life and I am in control. I am going to take the actions that move me toward my goals, surround myself with people who push me forward, and keep my focus on what I truly want. The question isn't whether you're capable of making that change. The question is, are you ready to make that decision? Are you ready to embrace the responsibility, the challenges, the discomforts, and the triumphs that come with it? Because once you decide, there's nothing standing in your way. The road ahead won't always be easy, and the journey will test you. But here's the secret: the harder it gets, the greater the reward. It's through the challenges that you'll find your true strength, through the doubts that you'll discover your deepest convictions, and through the struggle that you'll build the power to create anything you want. So right now, make the decision. Do it for yourself. Do it for the people who will be inspired by your transformation. Do it for the person you know you are capable of becoming. Because one decision can change everything. One decision can take you from where you are to where you've always dreamed of being. And that decision is in your hands. The time to act is now. Don't wait for the right moment, create it. Don't wait for the perfect conditions, make them. Your life is waiting. Your future is waiting. And everything you've ever dreamed of is just one decision away. You've got this. Go out and make that decision today and watch your life unfold in ways you never thought possible.